Winning an argument doesn't necessarily mean being right. In reality, dominating a discussion often relies more on strategic communication than on logical accuracy. After many losses in debates, I've discovered 10 powerful techniques that can give you the upper hand, even when your argument isn't the strongest. More importantly, each of these methods is ranked based on how effective they are in real-world conversations. 1. Judo technique. Use their strength against them. Rating C. In any argument, you can expect to be attacked, either directly or through your ideas. Most people react by attacking back or defending their points, but a more strategic response is to use your opponent's energy to shift momentum, just like a judo fighter. Specifically, don't hesitate to concede minor points. When you appear open-minded, you gain the moral high ground and can challenge core issues more forcefully. This unexpected concession weakens the opponent's intensity and makes you appear confident and balanced, rather than rigid and dogmatic. 2. Socratic technique. Lead with questions. Rating B. Socrates never pushed opinions, he asked questions. His style made people confront the contradictions in their thinking. It's a brilliant strategy for breaking down faulty reasoning without sounding aggressive. Instead of saying, degrees don't define competence, try asking, do you think people with top grades are always more capable? Open-ended questions like these push the other person to think deeper about their stance and may lead them to uncover flaws themselves without losing face. Number 3, hypnotic language. Words that shift emotion. Rating B. Words don't just convey logic, they shape feelings. Instead of saying, you're making me uncomfortable, say, I feel uncomfortable when that happens. This small shift reduces defensiveness and invites a more open exchange. You can also use rhetorical questions or implied agreements like, of course, this makes the most sense, doesn't it? This creates an illusion of consensus and makes the other person less likely to argue. It's subtle, but surprisingly effective. Number 4, contrast effect. Exaggerate, then compromise. Rating C. If you start with an extreme suggestion, your real request will seem far more reasonable in comparison. This is a negotiation trick that softens resistance. Example, ask for A, B, and C at once, which is overwhelming. Then back down and only ask for B. Your opponent will likely feel that you're being fair, even though you've gotten what you actually wanted all along. Number 5, information bombing. Overload their thinking. Rating A. If you flood someone with statistics, data points, and expert opinions, they'll quickly become overwhelmed and unable to counter each detail. This gives the impression that you're better informed and in total control. This technique works especially well in public debates or technical discussions where the appearance of authority matters. 6. Gish Gallop, a storm of half-truths. Rating. Similar to information bombing, but with a twist. You don't need accurate data. You can throw out half-truths or even false statements that sound credible. Why does this work? Because disproving false claims takes far more time and effort than making them. However, if your strategy is exposed, your credibility may collapse. Use it sparingly and strategically. 7. Change of focus, the art of misdirection. Rating A. If you're losing ground in an argument, shift the topic. This is known as the red herring technique, distracting your opponent and audience from the original issue. Just introduce a controversial but unrelated point and the conversation veers off track. It's not the most honest move, but if timed right, it breaks your opponent's momentum and lets you regain control. Number 8, coherence principle. From small yes to big yes. Rating B. People like to appear consistent in their beliefs. If you can get someone to agree to a small point, you can guide them logically toward a bigger agreement based on that initial yes. For example, if we agree transparency is important, then surely sharing the data is necessary. It's a gentle but effective way to pull people along with your argument. Number 9, rule of 3, the power of structure. Rating A. The human brain processes information best in threes. 1 occurrence is random, 2 is coincidence, but 3 feels like a pattern, and patterns are persuasive. If someone asks your opinion, give them 3 reasons. If you're defending an action, cite 3 justifications. The number 3 makes your point more complete, memorable, and convincing. 10. Lightning-fast jokes, humor as a weapon. Rating C. A sharp, well-timed joke can completely disrupt your opponent's train of thought. These one-liners are emotional curveballs that leave the other person stunned or speechless. While this technique won't win on logic, it raises your charisma and control of the conversation. Used with precision, humor can either save or sink your credibility. Conclusion: adaptability is the true superpower. No single technique works for every situation. The real key to winning arguments is emotional intelligence, audience awareness, and adaptability. You need to know which tool to use and when to use it. Strong reasoning doesn't always win, but someone who understands psychology, reads the room, and communicates strategically, that's the person who controls the conversation, and that's how you win, even when you're wrong.